No? Huh? Okay. Let's onegaishimasu. Aikido. So we'll just start a little bit of breath work, so just nice and long. Breathing in. Now. Body nice and long. In this case, you can keep this kind of thing where you've got the thumbs on the rib cage, on the pelvis, and just think about widening opening out the elbows, letting the shoulders sink down. And try and really breathe in like 360 degrees. So you're not only breathing up, out, down into the diaphragm, but also to the back as well. So really feel whole body opening out. And as you breathe out, just let the belly button kind of depress away from the pants, from the belt. Think about creating length, decompressing the whole spine, rib cage, fully in, fully out. Eyes are just kind of settling onto the horizon line. Feet nice and grounded. Okay, good. And just from here, this is basically like a standing decompression. Let the arms come back a little bit like we do with the founder position, but not moving the hips back, just lengthening, nice and long, opening the shoulders out, breathing in. Just take a bit more natural breaths, but still nice and big, long breaths. Lengthen through the back of the neck, expand the ribs. From here, just lifting up about the level of the heart. You've got this kind of position. Just lengthening, keeping everything long. Settling the body down. And last position, just raising the hands up. Keeping the shoulders down, not kind of shrugging the shoulders up. Just raising the arms up. Nice and high. Lift body up. Keep the eyes basically on the horizon. Lengthen through the lower back. A few deep breaths. The weight of the arms draining down into the feet. Just feel every breath lengthening, expanding more the body. Okay, dropping the arms down. Let's come a little bit wider, and we're coming to this founder position. So hinging the hips back, knees no more further forward than the ankle. Okay, settling the arms back, chest up, chin back. Nice deep breath in. Expanding the rib cage. Okay, drawing the arms forward, hinging the hips back a little bit more, bringing the hands together, pressing the fingertips together. Keeping the focus nice and soft but forward. Just check the feet. You don't want to be too far forward into the toes. Settle into most of the way into the heel, and then you've got the ball of the big foot, ball of the big toe, and the base of the little toe, just as supporting anchors for the move. And then reaching up, let the hands rotate up, kind of coiling up. And the arms nice and long. This position is really kind of familiar to like Tai Henko work. Hinge the hips back. The hands got a natural arc to it, as if you're kind of raising, lifting up something. Nice deep breath in, back nice and long. Into here. Okay, next deep breath, just let the body sink down. Hips hinge back even more. Keep the knees back from the body. Fingertips into the ground, long spine. Hips nice and long back. Hands in the ground. Deep breath. Okay, drawing the hands up. Keep the hips hinged back, and then up to the shins. Right onto the shin bone. Lengthen. Nice deep breath in at this point. And then just bring the hands up onto the chest, just above the shoulder. And then just start to anchor the body. The whole movement you're going to draw up with the hip. If you feel the legs shaking good, don't try and stop the shaking, but try and anchor the body down more. So you're going to really anchor the feet down into the ground and feel that the hips raise the body. So keep the hips, the root of the movement's really in the hip. And the anchor for the movement's in the ground. All the mobility is coming from the hip. But just do about 6 or 8, fully down, fully up. Fully down. If you feel the shaking in the legs, again, just try and press a little bit more into the feet, into the ground. Nothing's really moving in the knees. Just the hips. And one more. And just as you come back, just going back to this original position. A little bit deeper than we did when we started. Again, chest up, chin back. Nice deep breath. And then just release it. Coming forward. Good. And just loosening the hips off a little bit. Okay, we go to a little bit of a lunge here. So the key thing with this, keep the legs on parallel tracks so they're not going to be in hand. Keep the hips square. In this case, again, just coming back, letting the body come up. Chest up, chin back again. Okay, in the transition in this case, you're going to let the weight shift onto the front foot without in this case, shifting the front knee. So you don't want to lean into the front knee, but you wanted to shift the weight, again, from the hip, and all of the weight's going to settle into the front foot. The back foot becomes quite light this way. And then just keeping the arms back. Just feel where the weight needs to be in the foot, mostly in the heel. And again, you've got these 3 points of contact. Most of the weight in the heel. Just feel the balance. Okay, and then hinging the hips forward a little bit more. Don't go into the knee again. Keep the knee as far back as you can. Come to the front. Stretching a little bit forward. Hips hinging back. Length through the spine. In this case, when you feel the shaking in the legs, as if you're kind of pulling the hips towards the center of the body. So the hips are going to do like this in. So they're really going to anchor the body in place. Through the foot. Feel the front hip nice and tight. It's good. Okay, what you're going to do from here is hinge away from the front foot. Here, I'm on the back, sorry, I'm on the tiles of the back foot. So you're here, keep the weight in the front leg, and then you're going to hinge and then release it. Hinge and release it. And again, about 6 to 8, just in your own time. And keep the weight grounding in the front leg. Nothing changes against just the hip mobility here. Let the whole torso go with it. And just watch the balance. So, and keep as much as possible the body leaning forward. And back. And then again, just letting the body shift back to here. Release it, and then come back up to standing. Here, shake that leg off a little bit. And then what you do is just change feet. So again, it's about transferring the weight fully into the front foot now. So just the first, get the breath nice and long. Feel comfortable in the feet. You can also try the feet, in this case, a little bit internally rotated, a little bit to the front, to also work the hips a bit more. So you can also play with that if you want. But just get into the lunge, weight loaded into the front foot, and then just start to shift the weight, hinge in the hip, shift the weight into the front foot. Here, as if you're kind of falling forward a little bit. Nice and long in the spine. And just sink more and more weight into that front foot. Hinging a little bit further each time with the breath. Okay, and then scooping the hands forward, hinging even more with the body, joining the hands together. Again, draw the hips in towards the center, stretch long, 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 long. Feel the weight in the back foot's not really so much. And then again, just rotating away from the back, from the front foot. Pull everything towards the center as you go. Let the hip really do all the work. About 6. One more. Okay, keeping the hips forward, hinging back with the arms. Weight's all in the front foot. Nice deep breath. And then just release it. And coming back up again. And just shaking the hips up. Shake the legs up a little bit. Okay, good. Okay, we'll do one more. In this case, you go wide, wide, wide. It's like a wide founder. Let's change the mat. Let's see this way. Okay, so you like this. Again, you can slightly internally rotate the feet so they're a bit pigeon-toed, not too much. Just get as wide as you can, and as you go through it, if you feel like you want to widen them, feel you can. So the first thing again, just get the body resting up. Feel where the weight needs to sink. So it's going to go into the heel, through the feet, and feel it. In this case, there's like an X across the feet, so that everything's kind of drawing in towards the center. And then again, just hinging the hips back, drawing the arms out. Let the hands rotate out a little bit to the back. Again, keep the knees. If you look down, you should basically be able to see the whole of the foot. If you can't, then the knees too far forward. So keep the weight shifting back, hips hinge back, chest out, chin back. Nice deep breath. If you want to go a little bit lower, you can. It's comfortable. Okay, reaching forward, drawing the hips out. So really, really wide founder. Neck long. Nice deep breaths. Okay, hinging up again. Hips back even more. Really, really high up, as if you're reaching for something on a very high shelf. At the same time, someone's pulling you away. So that both ends are pulling apart from each other. Nice deep breath. If you feel the shake again, let the feet anchor the movement more. Nice deep breath out, coming down, fingertips together in the ground, as if you're kind of clinging onto the ground. Pull the hips back even more. Okay, and then the last one, keep one hand on the ground. Roll the arm up. You can do this 2 ways. You can arc the arm up all the way, or you can draw it up to the center and then open the shoulder out. Do about 5 or 6 on one side and then change side. Keep the one hand nice and anchored in the ground. Hips don't move, knees don't move. Just the hip opening and the shoulder, torso going with it. The whole of the torso open. And then just change sides once you've done 5 or 6. Open. 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 Okay, the last one. Keep one hand down again. Rather than rotating up, you're going to reach the hand up. So it goes to here. Keep that hand down and reach this hand up. So it's like really bridge now. The lower back's really bent and you're really stable and you're doing this. Really, really tricky to do actually. Tricky to talk at the same time. Reaching up, let it go. Press the other hand into the ground and then reach up. Keep the shoulder down. So I don't want to shrug the hand up, the shoulder up. Stretch it, open it up. Hold it. Hold it. And then let it go back down. Pull it back a little bit more. Okay, raising the hips up. Back into the original position, really, really low now. Super low. The last thing, just about 10 seconds or so. Nice deep breath. Legs are probably shaking like mad, I know. One more deep breath. And out. And then really, really slowly just come back up to standing. There we go. Good, and just shake the whole body out. Yeah. Okay, good. Good. Shake everything out. Good. These never get easier as well. The foundation stuff never really gets easier. It gets easier to anchor the body, but I still got these kind of shakes when you do it. Okay, we'll just go into the ground. Do a little bit of 𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒈 work. So good to kind of stabilize the body. 𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒈 work's nice to really kind of mobilize everything. So just coming down into the ground. Just in your own time. Actually, the first you just go to here. So just opening to a butterfly, just rolling down the whole back. Do this very lightly, again, with no pressure onto the neck. So zero pressure at all. If you want, you can also tuck the legs into this position. So if you want to open the hips out, play with the butterfly like this. If you want to really just roll onto the back, protect the back also. Keep the legs tucked in and just roll back. So you want to be like a kind of weeble. You kind of roll back, roll up. So there's no real momentum in it. Just letting the body rock. Back, forward, back, forward, back, forward. And if you want, you can also open the legs out. Yeah. If you feel quite flexible and you can, as long as you protect the neck, just let the legs go back a little bit as well. So just make sure there's zero pressure on the neck at all, especially onto the top of the spine. So if you want, just let the body roll back a little bit. If you've got the flexibility. Let the body curl out of it. Good. That's it, great. Very nice. Good. Okay, then we'll just go to this basic. So just rolling down the arms, coming up. Really using the legs now to power the movement. So working to mobilize the hips and really getting the lower body to power through. We'll do about 50. Just keep it nice and controlled. Okay, good. Okay, keep going. Just going to open the door. Okay. Okay, one thing you might find helpful with this, you want to make these really efficient, so you should be able to do like 100, 200 of these. The only way you'll really be able to do that is if you make this movement very efficient. So just watch for one thing, which is basically like this. That kind of movement, which is basically rolling around the long way. So I try and show from this way. What you do is basically collapse the back into the mat here, and then the legs power the movement. So if you just try and make this really also compressed, so it's like this. What I don't want to do is this. This is really the long way around. This will tire you out like nothing else will. Useful to tire you out, but not actually useful as a 𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒈 practice. So get the feeling you're actually folding into the ground and then coming out. Folding into the ground, coming out. All of the movements really coming from the hip. So if the hip's doing it basically like that, this you can do for a long time. If the whole body's taken away, like this, will actually really tire the core out very quickly. So just get a feel for this, really efficient. And it's to do with how you receive into the ground. So if you think about 𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒈 work, it's really about how I'm receiving into the ground. There we go. Let the hips really power it. There we go. That's it. Very nice. Great. There we go, there we go, there we go. Yeah, and then the second thing with the legs, also really, if you want them to really power the movement as well. So if you think about it, it's a kind of timing rhythm thing. When you go back, and when I want to come forward, let the legs really power the movement. So the legs do like this. This. So it's like you're cutting with the legs as you go. I don't want the legs really passive like this. So if I'm holding the structure of the leg, that's also going to deplete a lot of energy. What I want to feel is that I just kick it. So you just kick the leg. This. This. So you want to use the energy really at the right point. So when you get to the tipping point, you kick in with the leg. Just give it a try. So you make it very, very efficient that you do. Last couple. There we go. Just even get the right timing. Whoa, and then the legs kick in. There we go. Good. That's it, that's it, that's it. There we go, very nice. Okay. Great. Okay, just come up standing. Just shake the body out a little bit. Just shake the whole body. Loosen the hips a little bit. Anchor in the lower body. Feel really grounded. And also hopefully longer in the back. Nice, long, decompressed. I'm just rolling the arms a little bit here. And shaking the legs a little bit. Good. And then just back to the whole body. Really get a sense of the whole body. Weight. Weight heavy. Weight heavy. Wow. Wow. Just make it smaller and smaller. Nice upright position. There. To there. Okay, great. Take a bokken. Do some saburi. Good. So we just start with the first saburi. So just starting here, rolling out into the kamae, nice and grounded. Find the back, find the curve. Find the back, find the curve. Just take your time with it. If you need to pause at the top, if you're nice and comfortable with it, just play it as one movement. Play with it as one movement. One. 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 Okay. Okay, good. So it goes along with all this kind of settling work, but even let's say even if I get everything right, everything's in position. If I rush the next movement, all that kind of settling goes to waste. Now that comes in later when I start to kind of follow the rebound. But even then, what I need to do is a training where I really feel the ground is settled underneath. So really feel that the cut's going to actually Go, and stabilize. Give yourself time here, and then once you've got there, now go. So it will make the movement much sharper as well. So look for a really clean finish. Finish here, and then go. Go. So think of it now really as one movement. You go from the 𝒂, back in. Let it really settle in. The worst thing I can do with this practice is like this. The body never gets a chance to really settle into it. So really trying a kind of conscious pattern, which is like here, down, go, down, go, down, go, down, go. Really everything kind of settle through the movement. Yeah. That's it. That's it. There we go. Good, Robin. Good. Nice. Okay, we're going to number 2. So again, just take your time with it. Make really clear movements out of it. So rolling the body back, finding the Jodan Kamae, and then reach in the back, find the 𝒂. Really give yourself time, especially now in this one, because it's a really very much a forward movement. Let the body really settle. Give yourself time at the end. Draw back into the kamae. Feel also the drawbacks part of the movement. Coming back, cutting through, finding the kamae. Really just feel it with full feeling, grounding all the time. Down, 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 down. That's nice. Okay, so always, if you think in terms of the direction, the first one is this up down. So always the priority, up down. What you don't want to do is sacrifice the up you don't want to sacrifice the down for the up. So in this case, I don't want to do something like this, where I've totally given away the ground now, because I'm basically I'm acting on the body this way, this direction. So this direction is too full. So really feel that in order to raise the sword, I don't sacrifice that down direction at all. So really feel that you're fully grounded down at this point. Even exaggerate the footwork. But really get the sense that what you're doing is grounding the sword down into the feet. So it should feel really anchored. Also, all this kind of foundation work stuff. It's really about anchoring the body into the posterior chain. If I give that up, it looks like this. I'm in these kind of positions, and now I'm really just stuck in the upper body. The only choice I've got is to fall through into the next movement and push the sword forward. So just get this feeling of raising, the raise of the sword is rooted down from the ground. So don't sacrifice the down for raising. Really feel that down all the time. So the down's always going to take priority over the up. That's it. The sword raised from below. That's it. That's it. There we go, nice. Good, and then the second direction this one really works with is the front and back. So what I don't want to do again, in this case, is sacrifice the back of the body for the front. So just because I'm going forward, I don't want to lose the back at all in the movement. So again, really think that that whole movement, the power of it is going to come from the back of the body. So think about the key one in this case is the legs. So think about really the back of the legs as you go into this movement forward. What I'm trying to do is ground the whole movement down and then press through it this way. But really feel again, the whole movement is really coming from the back. And I don't want to lose that forward. So press the movement to the front from the back, basically. So it's grounded here and then keep the ground, find the back coming through. So even again, exaggerate that moment. And the very useful movement, this is actually where you make contact with the spine. But it's really allowing the sword cut to anchor into the spine. Yeah. Really feel that whole movement's coming forward from the back. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Good. Nice. Good. Very nice. Nice. And then the paradox of this is that I want to fully commit the body forward at the same time. So the point of this is also that the more I anchor the movement in the back, the more I can commit the body forward without being pulled off balance. So get the sense now that what you do is really draw the body into the movement. So really kind of fully commit now into the cut forward. So you roll back, find the ground, and then really get a sense that what you're doing is pressing the body through. So again, it's like making a clear passage for yourself as you go through. So the body finishes really going fully engaged forward into the, but really via the back. Just give it a try. Yeah. All the power from it is going to come from the movement itself. Just the act of the body being drawn forward with a kind of grounded sense is going to make a really powerful move. There we go. Boom. That's it. Great. Good. Okay, we're going to number 3. I'm going to use this BOKKEN because it's shorter. I can do the form. So in this case, you're going to roll up to the side, and then you take a nice deep breath in. Draw the whole BOKKEN up this way. And then from here, engage, find the back hip, and then engage everything forward. And then from here, you've got a really explosive movement. Don't find the back, find the top of the head, and then press in through it this way. And you've got a really emphasis of a forwards movement. But really, again, emphasizing the priorities is down, stretching up, grounding down. And again, the priority is the back of the body, really grounding everything in the back, springing forward, pressing in. So you have a much more dynamic movement or much more explosive movement now. Just so you can work with it. So nice deep breath in. And you try and anchor the whole movement in the spine. Coming in and then back. Okay, just work this. There's a few ways you can do, and obviously people teach this in different ways, so they're not necessarily right or wrong. This is just to emphasize the side of the body. So when you go, this very first movement, let the whole body go here. So let the body take a kind of side-on movement. So it's the one direction, it's very difficult to work. So the side of the body is left and right. So in this case, let the whole body roll into this position. Now let the head swing with that movement. So let the body find that movement, because what I can do is like screw that movement up to here. This becomes very contracted, that the head stays forward and the body's kind of doing this, and then the arms are kind of in this kind of, and I'm kind of locked in this kind of position. It's creating a lot of tension, especially in the upper body and the front of the body. So let this first movement be very, very relaxed. So it's very, very soft. So it's very, very soft here, and then stretch everything up. Keep this width in the body. And then at this point, as you lower the sword, let the head draw forward. So it's at that point when everything widens again. So you're in this position, shoulders nice and wide, the BOKKEN's right at the back of the body, and the head's loaded forward, and then everything joins that direction. So you got that kind of way of doing it. Just exaggerate, in this case, the left side and right side, or the horizontal plane in this case. Feel a real engagement into the movement. And as the sword's lowered down, the head's going to rotate into position. There we go, Adrian. Nice. That's it, that's it, that's it. That's it. Right, and just take this one motion, this first motion and this second motion, keep these always pretty slow. So you don't want to do those too fast. You're going to follow them with the breath. So what I don't want to do is something quite that, which basically becomes empty. So the last movement can be very fast because it's a very explosive cutting movement. But keep these movements quite slow and just let the whole breath follow it. So you want something, just watch out, the key is the hips. So as you go, you're trying to really channel the focus in the hip through to the sword. So if at any point the hip stops moving and I start to just use the arm, the sword's basically doing its own thing and the arms are doing their own thing. So make sure in this case, the hips lead. Hips lead, 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 lead. So the hips are really creating the movement. Hips, 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 hips. And then from there, the hips are totally loaded, fire them forward into the movement. But just keep it there. If the arms are moving without the hips, something's kind of gone off. So just slow that movement down and really explore the hip work and the connection into the hands. So the breast's leading, the hips are going with it. That's it. There we go, there we go, there we go. There we go. That's it, great. Good. Okay, we'll just finish with this one. So really, really basic movement, just into Shomanuchi. So you're here, just pressing in, cutting down. So really, really basic. Also, feel free to move around the space. You can use a target as well on the wall or an object, and just get the feeling that you're doing a very, very simple thing. All the work we've just done in 1, 2, 3, try and really compress it into this one movement now. So very, very contained, one movement, cutting in. So very direct. Go. Just really allow everything to settle. There. There we go. Good. Okay, just try this with an object. So you can use a wall, or you can use a door, or you can use a chair. Just watch this. So we've got a big tendency in terms of the weapon work. We start with the arm. So I'm going to attack the thing, and I do something like this first, and then I go in with the body. So something happens, and then I go with it. If you think about connection work, it's always going to be made with the center, with the body. So just think about I'm here. I know the distance to the chair, and then I just go like this, in, and then draw back. So I know where the chair is. I don't need to think about it, and I don't need to think about reaching out with the arms. I meet the chair, meet the chair. So you can play, chairs are a good one because they're kind of hip height as well. Doors, walls, all these kind of things, but just play with, I've got the chair here, and then I want to feel like connect to it, go. Oh, that's a bit loaded, off. Connect to it, go. And I want to feel at the same time, all the weight drains in, into the ground. Come. Just play with it a little bit. Let's see. Ah, yeah, that's a good object. Good. Yeah. Okay. Okay, main thing, don't sacrifice your balance. So when you do this, just watch this. Now, if I move the chair away, you actually sacrifice the balance into it. So if you think about when you attack something, I want to be really balanced with it. So I want the body to be independent. I don't want to sacrifice into the technique or sacrifice into the throw, because think about your balance is essential for everything. So if I lose my balance, if I give it away voluntarily, then I've given away everything. So get the sense that when you do this, you come in, the balance is here. So the balance is really in the body, and the connection comes out of that. So the more balanced I am, the more connected I am, the more power I've got in terms of connection. There. There we go. That's it. There we go. Yeah, and use different things. Yeah, good. That's it. Okay, do this. So if you've got a chair, if you've got a wall, you can also do it like this. But what you want to do now is feel that you do this. So you meet the chair without actually making full contact with it. So what you do is join the body in, there. And then the contact's actually either very, very light or it just slips off. So it's really, if you do this with a wall, it looks like this. So it's really, really very light. So this is really you can do this with a person. You basically come up to them and you push through and you release it. So what you can do now is really play with your distance. So you can go right up to the chair. So it's really this feeling that I'm actually hitting with the body. So this is the kind of feeling I want, is that as you go in, the body's right in between it. So you can really now meet the chair. So you're here, meeting, or whatever you've got with it, whatever you've got to use. So you're going right into it. That's it. It's the quality you've got is a bit like a cat pouncing. So I've got like this kind of quality. I know where the thing is, and then I go into it. So it's got really this kind of quality like a cat. And you want to smother the thing with your feeling and your weight. So it's the same with the attacks with the sword. I want the feeling like I'm kind of smothering with the whole body. So it's got that kind of quality. So you can go into it. Into the body. Into the body. Into the body. There we go. Yeah. Good, and then just come back to the sword again. You can do this with, if you've got a chair around or you've got another object. You can't do it with the wall, unfortunately. So if you've not got something, you can use like a chair. Just use your imagination or hit a kind of an object in the distance. But just get this feeling now, I've got the chair is here. What I want to do is really feel that I can slam my weight all the way through the sword now. So you're connecting now the cut and the feeling again, the priority is the body into the sword. I want to feel the whole energy drains into the cut. There. So I want to feel like an instant connection with the sword cut there. And don't worry about too much the distance, about the feeling penetrating it. Which is why it doesn't matter if you're working off at a distance, with the object. So it's a real like a meeting with the object. Okay. That's it. That's it. That's it. Good. Good. Okay, just mix in now whatever you've got. Work with the 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒈 as well. So you can do this on the spot, but you can do this two ways. The first way is just on the spot. So just feeling you've got the connection into it, into it, into it. Don't hit it, into it, in. So I want the feeling to penetrate right to the object. Then the other way you can do once you've got that is just work with steps. So you've got a little bit of distance coming in. A little bit of distance coming into it, and you just want to feel that precision is the main thing, but the first thing is getting the feeling of the body entering in through the object. That's it. Boom. That's it. And if you're quite comfortable with it, try and see how close you can get to the thing. So you want to get within like a cent. If you can get within a centimeter, pretty good. You want to basically like a finger between the object and the sword. Just give it a try as well. Better if you got something really fragile as well, something that you will, something you really value. You want to really go for it like this. You want that kind of precision. If you think about it, you're going to be, if you want to train this with a partner where you've got that, yeah, you've got the level of precision where I know I can really go to the train on the edge, that kind of level. That's what eventually I want to work up to. And when you're working with objects like this is the place to train, because nobody's going to get hurt, hopefully.
Yeah.
There we go. That's it, Keith, very nice. That's gonna get it. Oh, ouch. Close. There we go. Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. Great.
Oh, Christ.
Okay, good. Before you kill all your object, just go now into you've got someone in front of you, also in movement. So you're going to now work with movement. Okay, you've got two choices. If you think about it, if someone's totally open, you can go straight in for the 𝒊𝒏𝒈. So it's just about now working a little bit in movement, and feel that if you've not got an opening, what you can do is come around and strike in with a 𝒂𝒂𝒏. Like just keep a feeling for the hip work. You're going to basically like pleat with the feet. So you've got a kind of really feeling of the footwork is really a setup so that I can just spring out of the feet. So just play with Shomen Yokumen, moving around. And I want to be as kind of quiet as possible with the attack. And with that same kind of focus you had with the object, try and translate it now out. Some motion. Right into it. That's it. And you want a really fully committed attack. Ooh, hello. Yeah. Okay, and just build it up now. You can play with 2 strikes. So the other attack you can use now is like a ski. So just play with them again. You've got obviously the classic example, like number 7 coming in. You also got like number 6, cutting in, thrusting in, coming in this way. And you've got everything you can kind of go in between them. Working with Shomen, Yokumen. Or working with Yokumen. But just work into it. Keep it a kind of level which is quite a little bit vigorous. Just 2 attacks at a time, and really make them kind of count. I want them to be fully landing weight through the body. I'm going to deliver the full weight of the body through the cut. Whoosh. There we go. Okay, good. Yeah. Oh, good. Whoosh. Okay, so think about it. One of 2 things is going to happen. Either you attack. Oh, actually, 3 things. Actually, three things can happen. You attack. Good. First solution. You hit the target, and that's it. It's over. So the first solution is the dream. It's done. Finished. So there's no need for any more. What we're dealing with in this case is like two scenarios. The first one is that you get blocked. So the sword gets blocked. How? So in that case, I've got to receive the cut into the ground and then come out of it. The second, or the third one is that the cut misses. Either I miss the person through bad targeting, or the person's moved out of the way totally. So in either case, what I want to do is fully land the body behind the cut. So that's always going to be the case. So either I get blocked through the sword, or the sword just misses and I don't hit the target. So just think at any point that the priority is really what's happening in the body, not in the sword. Whatever happens in the sword, I can mitigate it through the body work. So you're always going to have the control. If the center's controlling the movement, I've always got the possibility to either strike again or change the movement. Oh, hello. You don't agree? Challenge. It's all right with the dog. It's a good target as well. Moving target.
Come here.
That's it. There we go. Good. Yeah. Okay, so just imagine now you're working the other side. So you've got someone coming in to attack. So the first thing is you've got two options. So like we discussed, either I just get hit, okay, that's option over, not a good choice. So the second option I got is to block. That's when I don't really see the attack coming, so I've not got a lot of time. Either I've started to attack before them and I've not got there first, the attack's already coming, and I need to change it into a block. So these are the first two. You can block this way, you can block this way. If it's a really wild attack, you can block this way. So you can do any number of blocks, but they're all going to be based on the same thing, which is meeting the line of the attack and absorbing it into the ground. So the first we just play with a little bit, I'm really like receiving it. We train this really clearly when we do Go-no-Ase, and you draw through, and we do it with a cut. In the case of actually making a block, what I do is modify it. So I'm really taking the sword off into a position where I'm really going to catch the weapon and channel it into the ground, which leaves me open to be able to do something else. So just play a little bit with the right side, left side. First, just imagine you've got one attack coming in very strong, and it's either going to be where I'm open and there's a Shomanuchi coming in, which I need to wedge off, or it's I'm open to this side, the person's found a line, and I need to protect the shoulder this way, or I need to protect the head in this case. So just play a little bit, wedging with a block. That's it. That's it. Good. And then the other tactic you've got obviously is just to evade. So you can also just roll through it. So you can come to this position, just avoid it. You come to this position, just avoid it. So you're really then working a little bit of a different footwork pattern, which is really just about evasion. So I'm really trying to remove the body totally. It's usually going to be totally off the line. So when you block, you can basically hold the line just about. If I'm evading, what I want to do is really remove myself totally from it. If I basically stay on the line and just avoid it, I'm basically totally open then for an attack, unless I've held the line subtly through just a shift in the hip width. But that's quite advanced. So just think about, in this case, real evasion, which is totally getting away from the technique, which doesn't always have to be back. So you can also evade coming in if you're kind of very mobile with it. So just play a little bit with this. You've got one attack coming in, come in at the body, just evade it. It's coming at the body, just evade it. Try and keep it a little bit in movement as well. Nice. Nice. Okay, great. And then you've got two attacks coming into the body. Think that you're going to respond now on the second attack. So you can either evade or you can block on the first movement. So there's an attack coming in, I evade, and then the second strike's coming in, whatever it is, and you're going to respond to it with a kind of finishing strike. So just feel, or the other thing you can do is block and then finish it. Okay, we've got all the kind of finishes you like, and you can also play with different movements coming in. Just explore the last stage. So this is now working with like one movement, can evade, then coming in for the next. And it doesn't have to be any kind of typical strike. It's just about how to work the body. So rolling away, cutting in for the next one. And just think you're only really dealing with one person. Where you've got blocks, finishes. Or you've got evasions, finish. Evasion, finish. Let's play with it. Whoosh. Once. There we go. Ah, interesting. Yeah, so just think whatever you, there was the great quote I found from Funakoshi, which was spirit first, technique second, or but basically that the spirit comes first. So what you want to do is find the quality of the technique. So there's a different kind of spirit or a different quality of movement in terms of blocking as to finishing. What I don't do is always train in the same kind of quality, which is something like this. So everything begins to like look the kind of same. But really feel there's a different kind of level of engagement in a block as a finish. So really kind of feel the requirements of the movement. There's a block and then a finish. Really allow the finish to be a real end point to the technique. It should be totally over. So also the value, again, what we can do in solo work that we can't necessarily do in partner work is really let all the power come out from the sword. So really feel that the whole power can be released through the cut. So we're tending to, when we practice solo work, we're a little bit when we're practicing partner work, we're kind of holding back a little bit. Don't hold anything back, even if you do it really slow. Think it's kind of full power, full speed, even if it's totally slow. So again, it's more about intention than technique. I think the evasion's an evasion, and the block's a block, and a finish is a finish. They're totally different kind of qualities. Yeah, that's whoosh. Whoa. Right. Okay, great. There's the thing with this also, whenever we do like freestyle like this, there's always a kind of trap that we get lost in variety. So I start to do lots of different things when I've missed the point of one thing, or I was trying one thing and it's not really worked, and I switch to something else which also doesn't really work, and then I go somewhere, it also doesn't really work. So the key is don't get lost too much in variety, and also this is the value of the basics, that you can really go back to something very simple and really get as much of what you can out of it. So some very, very simple movements are actually really the best ones to do. So really, really simple. And I don't want to get too lost in big kind of fancy work when I don't really have a full grasp of the basic, and that for everyone as well. So we should always kind of return to these very simple movements, because those are the core movements. This is also these teachings like Migyo-ase, Hidari-ase, really perfect techniques, because they're so utterly simple. You can really get a lot out of them in terms of technique. Same with Tainhenko, Morotogori, all this kind of stuff we do, which is super basic, but full of really essential kind of teachings. So, okay, we'll stop there anyway. Too much blah blah. So, hey, domo arigato gozaimashita.
Domo, arigato gozaimashita.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much.